You look so pale, my lord. Would you like me to revive you?
Good evening, Christina. Do you need any... I am shocked.
Forgive...
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
How are the conditions in Whitechapel these days?
When I think about all the people who died trying to reach England, it seems we escaped a war just to die on foreign shores, hated by all.
Goodbye, miss. Take care. Good evening, Mr.
Dr. Reed!
You seem happier than you were.
Surprisingly, when I'm not threatened, my mood improves greatly.
How are the current conditions in Whitechapel?
When there's more people outside at night than during the day, then you've got to start to worry.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Now that Joe is gone, don't you think someone should take care of Harry?
Probably. I don't see why you're telling me this.
Come now, Mr. Lewis. I don't want to pry, but we both know there was more than just flirtation between you and Harry's mother.
How dare you? His mother made up her mind when she chose the Colossus over me. I ain't Harry's father.
You know it wasn't Harry's fault. Why should he pay for his father's mistakes?
We all have our crosses to bear. I'll not throw stones at the boy, but don't expect me to forget what I endured because of his family.
How's business?
Business is good, sir.
It seems unusual to be so cheerful with everything that's going on here.
Since you're clearly not familiar with our little world here, let me put it plainly. Colossus Joe is dead.
The defeat or death of an adversary can indeed bring pleasure.
Ah, you're right, you're right. But Joe Peterson is dead, and I can't say I'm not happy about it. Until another thug takes his place.
Right. There's nobody here. Good evening, Miss...
It's Father Whittaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your...
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Don't you...
I've been... No.
You sent him on some preaching crusade.
As a...
How is...
Don't you hear the trumpets?
I have... Good evening, Xiao.
晚上好, Dr. Reed. It's good to see you again.
How do you feel?
I don't feel good, Doc.
You should...
Thank...
What are you doing with your time, now that you're back in Whitechapel?
I've decided to help the poor and sick of the neighborhood by...
Giving out... That's...
I've no...
Why don't you move?
I thought...
Why...
I am a woman of habit, Doc.
Do you still...
Of course I do.
I know...
Maybe...
How... I've no doubt...
To be...
How is the sound...
My only relief...
Goodbye. Good evening. Shh. Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel.
Maybe you should consider the bigger picture.
So,
You see, I didn't...
But what?
Are you...
And what?
What?
I'm not...
Goodbye.
Goody.
You look in. Loretta, is your brother your accomplice, or are you just using him?
I would never take advantage of Mason's handicap. He is my brother. He is the person I cherish the most.
But if he's not careful, he could make a deadly mistake. You have to be aware of that.
He is blind, not stupid. He's always been the brains of the family, and the Swamborough cordial was his idea in the first place.
Loretta, your miraculous formula wouldn't even cure a common cold, and you know it.
The Swamborough's cordial's secret ingredient is hope, Doctor. And it's something people around here really need.
A placebo effect is real and has benefit. But in your case, you could be murdering your customers who may die because they are not receiving the necessary medical attention.
Medical attention? In Whitechapel? Trust me, my cordial is the best option they have, since it is the only one.
You're just a greedy hypocrite.
Hypocrite! What about an eminent physician prowling these streets at night? I'm sure you have a personal agenda too, Doctor.
How...
When people...
I'd like...
The Swanborough cordial can be the
Good evening.
Goodbye. I cannot enter. Good evening. What? It's a... Now. You don't... Oh. I... How are you? I'm not... Goodbye. It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Best turn around if I were you. I'll kill you! Look lively! It's on to us! Filthy piece of shit! does it, boys. We can deal with it.
It's locked, all right.
Over there! There's one of them vermin!
I cannot enter. It's locked.
Medical hall, sir. Are you from Ascalon? Your prey is mine now! Your prey is mine now!
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan? I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir. But your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I am sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir.
Considering the recent tragedies in this family, I'd understand if you want to leave or decide to serve another house.
Then I will stay. All I ask is...
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
My home is here, and I have nowhere else to go. But this house will need some improvements if I move here. Some radical changes.
That's good news. Whatever changes you have in mind, I'm sure we will find an arrangement that...
I'm currently investigating sources of...
Not...
the
I think it's a
Goodbye.
Of course.
Mother. Good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Tell me, Mother, how are you? All alone in this big house with only Avery to take care of you.
I'm sad most of the time. Sad that you have left me here alone. Sad that you don't tell me when you come or go.
I'm so sorry, Mother. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was coming home. I was home. London, the Thames, and then it happened.
What happened, Johnny?
I was attacked, Mother. And I've not been the same since.
The important thing is that you finally returned home. I was worried, you know. You were the last member of the family of whom I had no news. Even Mary comes more often than you.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Do you think Avery is right? Do you think I should take better care of you?
I don't blame you, but you abandoned me, son. A mother should not survive her children. It's unbearable to know you're not here anymore.
I wish I could stay here and take care of you.
You don't have to apologize to me, Johnny. Do you think I did not know?
Have I changed that much?
You are still, and you'll all...
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But Mary really...
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson? And my... Goodbye.